Greetings, my friends, and welcome to another episode of Dan and Django Yard. It's
Hello.
all about baseball, and today is what, the last day of July,
It
although
is.
people may be seeing this a little later,
Right.
and we're getting into the trade deadline.
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah.
trade deadline. So I would like to know from you being with a major league team. What's it like psychologically for the players? How do they handle that?
I think I think the guys that are marginal players are probably pretty nervous. Uh,
Hmm.
but I see Scooble wants to go to the Dodgers.
Is that what he said?
Yeah. I wonder why that is. Um,
Yeah.
and the
Hmm.
Dodgers always have this great, or for the most part, a great pool of young ball players in the minor leagues that they can ship off.
Right. Right.
Lots of teams don't have that.
The Phillies don't have it.
So they have nothing to bargain with. Um, but I think I don't, it's probably a whole mixed bag if you've been with a team a while and maybe you're at the twilight of your career, and you think you might get moved and, you're leaving, you've set down roots and whatever. And now, bloop, bloop, you're off to,
Wherever.
Atlanta or somewhere. And I don't, I don't think it's probably ever super easy. Um,
Hmm.
few guys I knew got traded. Um, well, they had to be okay with it. What are they going to do?
Yeah. What are they going to do?
And they do want, I mean, they all want to, if possible, get their 10 years in.
That's right. Once they get to 10 years in, they get pension,
They
right?
get vested. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's say you're a marginal player. Okay, but not just I was much below a marginal player.
Oh,
But
stop.
anyway, when the Phillies traded me the Saskatchewan Pink Dogs, that ruined my career completely. But um, uh, really,
Could we back up? Where the pink dogs?
yeah, I don't know if you've seen them, but
No.
they're very interesting. They're interesting.
Sounds like they would be. Yeah.
Yeah, they're Class C. They're
Class
Class
C.
C. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
as opposed to classy. It's a different thing, classy,
Of course.
right?
I
So
should have
that's
known
why,
that.
yes, the Pink Dogs, Saskatchewan. But anyway,
Yes.
um, I was reading, and you wanted to come up with before we started recording. You said something about you wanted to tell me something. So
Question. I have a question for
I have a question. Okay, then I want to get
you.
into a little bit of the
Yeah.
book. Okay, what's your question?
Really? Okay.
And we'll get back to the other thing.
Okay. My question is, what is the relationship between baseball IQ and ABS?
Ah, huh. That's very interesting.
I don't think there is. I'm sorry.
It's funny. I watch it and I kind of like it. I'm getting used to it. Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
I,
yeah. I agree.
I think they should double the amount, and they may. I know that if you go into extra innings, you get another one, right? You get one more. But I think that those who have a high baseball IQ are the ones where the balls or strikes are minuscule distance, either in or out. They're the ones. The ones who don't have it, I mean, they're checking on something that's a half a foot outside or 3 or 4 inches outside. Okay. The ones with a half an inch or a tenth of an inch, I think they know the strike zone pretty well. So that's
Yeah.
my What's yours?
Well, it isn't that so much as I would. I should have looked this up before. Would you consider Freddie Freeman having a high baseball IQ? First baseman for the Dodgers.
Yes,
I
yes,
would consider him
up there.
way, way up here.
Yeah, and
Um,
and it's amazing how he was great with the Braves,
yeah,
and the guy he was traded for, right? Or they signed, not traded for. They signed to replace him is also great.
yeah.
Olson. So, but is I think he'll be in the Hall of Fame one day.
Oh, he will. I don't think there's any doubt about it. But I would love to know, has he challenged a pitch all year?
Ooh,
I'm guessing no. I've never seen him do it. And I watched the Dodger games.
I haven't either.
It's this, and I've even seen some of these announcers have a hard time restraining themselves from going ballistic. First inning, one out, guys up, 1-2, 1-1 count, boom, and he challenges it. The first inning, nobody's on base. See, to me, that's a low IQ.
It is a low IQ, and that's a very good point. Yeah. Besides knowing
No,
the strike zone, it's knowing the situation. You're absolutely right.
absolutely. What's my relationship to the game here? Not just my at bat.
Right.
It's it's just driving me nuts. But it is what it is, and there's no that in the way the game is being. The Rockies, a few
Maybe
games,
Snead. Maybe
few
Snead.
games ago, on one play had three throwing errors.
Three what?
Throwing errors.
Oh,
That's
oh,
hard to do unless you're 10 years old and you're playing little league ball.
yeah, yeah. That's very hard to do.
It's anyway, I better
Uh,
back off because
well,
it's just
it's interesting because from a baseball IQ standpoint, you're absolutely right. You know, you wait until the situation appears that it could impact the game more than
yeah,
just your your at bat, okay, with nobody on and everything else. Then
yeah.
you're getting into the eighth or ninth inning. And of course, I saw it the other day when the Phillies were unfortunately losing three in a row to the Marlins, who had just
Mm.
lost 12 in a row. And a guy in the ninth inning, was a close game, and he went to, call for it, and it was too late because they had
Oh,
used them up. They had used them up. And the other thing
oh,
is,
right.
it can be too late if you wait too long.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be boom. I'm doing it.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's very interesting. I agree with you on that.
But one of my other concerns is there, it would appear that there's no protocol for this with regard to manager and players. I, if I was a manager and it's the first inning and nothing ball game and the second guy up does that on a 1-1 count or whatever, they'd have to haul me into the locker room. I mean, what what are you doing?
Well, that's one of those times where the guy gets sat down
Well,
and
yeah,
replaced.
but
And
are there no rules going in from the manager? Boys, through the fifth, we're not doing it unless the bases are loaded
right,
and
right,
down, some critical circumstance.
sure,
But it's this just arbitrary. And then they look up in the fourth inning and they got nothing left. They got no more challenges.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they're going to need them maybe 7, 8, 9. But
There's no doubt about it. And
I just,
it reminds me of, I see Charlie Manuel saying to the guys, "Don't you ever do that, or I'll pull you out of the game."
yeah. Or Bobby Cox.
Yeah, or Bobby Cox, and
Yeah. Lasorda.
or Lasorda. You're right. The better managers, they know that. And
Absolutely.
Charlie Manuel, I'll never forget this. Jimmy Rollins didn't run out of ball. Jimmy
Oh,
Rollins, who could be in the Hall of Fame,
yeah.
great player,
Absolutely.
great Philly. He pulled him out of the game.
Yeah.
And Rollins didn't like it at all. Everybody knew it, but he pulled
But
him
he
out.
knew why. He knew why he got pulled.
Sure, sure. So he
I
pulled him out of the game and
absolutely.
and sat him, and that was it. And he knew how to
Managers
deal with everybody.
managers have to. I've got a kind of a funny story about Lasorda. I got to know Jim Gott a little bit. He was a relief pitcher for the Dodgers,
Oh yeah, I remember.
and I played ball with his brother, younger brother. Um,
Younger brother was named Ain't God, right?
the Eric.
Oh, I
I
thought it was
played
Ain't
with
God.
Eric God,
Ain't-
who taught golf at Cherry Creek High School, and one year won the national long distance driving contest.
Oh,
Anyway,
oh, that was you missed my pun.
I ain't got my fault. I'm sorry.
I ain't got it. I ain't got it. Okay. All right. So
But
anyway,
Jim said, you know, Tommy was Italian,
and
and
from Philly. He's from Norristown. He's from 15 minutes from here.
yeah, and he loved spaghetti,
Right.
and he would make up before a game. Apparently, when Jim was a rookie, he went in and that was kind of Lasorda's way of greeting new guys. He'd make up this big pot of spaghetti, which was overloaded with garlic. But Lasorda would, consume a good amount of it before a game. And then when he went out and would argue with the umpires, they were going, because he'd get right in there. Listen, I'll tell you.
Great.
When I went, I got to go throw BP at Dodger Stadium.
You, you got what?
I got to throw batting practice at Dodger
Throwback.
Stadium.
Okay. Yeah.
And before I went, our the bullpen catcher we had been with the Dodgers for 12 years. His name was Todd Malding, great guy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so we're going to do this. It was 96. We were going to do this. And he said, Jan, boy, have your ID, have all the documents, because getting into Dodger Stadium, like before a game, is difficult. I mean, and I said, okay, well, I got all my stuff. And he said, okay. He said, apparently they'd hired a new guard. This was before I did it. And, Lasorda shows up like 2 in the afternoon, and this guard stops him. And, well, it's Lasorda. He doesn't have his ID and all that. And the guy won't let him in. And that was the only day the guy worked.
Oh, that's crazy.
But I didn't have any luck. I drove into the parking lot thinking, oh man, what's going to happen here? But boom, I got in. But
Wow. Yeah, I
yeah.
remember, and I might have probably mentioned this in a former show, but uh, I went to Dodger Stadium. The Phillies were playing the Dodgers,
Hmm.
and I could tell the difference back in those days. Or I guess it was in maybe the 70s or 80s or whatever. And yeah, I think it was the 70s. And the difference between West Coast fans and East Coast fans were
Oh,
totally evident. So
absolutely.
I am freaking going crazy with the Phillies, right? And screaming and they lost to the Dodgers. Okay.
Um,
My passion was shown, greatly during that. People walked up to me afterwards and said, we're sorry you traveled so far and your team lost. So, and we understand the way you feel. And I thought to myself,
sympathetic. Wow.
yeah, it was wonderful. But if they were in Philly,
Oh no.
they'd be shouted out and everything else. So it was like, and it's only nobody really means anything. It's not like the Dodgers later and the Giants when that poor kid was that Giant fan was
Oh yeah.
my
Killed.
yeah by Dodgers fans, but
Right.
but it was very interesting to me.
Yeah,
Very
yeah. It is a different vibe for sure. Well, California is just more laid back,
Right. That's
and they're known to come late and leave early, and
exactly. It's like Midwest,
yeah.
like St.
Yeah.
Louis, place to Cincinnati. Chicago
Oh,
is a little bit more. Yes.
speaking of which,
But
Cincinnati Reds. This is so cool. Um, I worked with pitchers for 18 years,
right.
and a kid I had, his dad brought him in. It was toward the end of my journey with pitchers. He was a high school pitcher up north near Fort Collins, and great kid. And the dad got my name from a guy that knew me, and so he brought his son in to have me work with him. And the kid hadn't pitched; he just had a gun. And
Uh,
so, I get him up on the mound because I only worked one kid at a time. I never did groups. And so I get him up on the mound, and they had noticed he was a center fielder. He was throwing from center field 90 miles an hour.
wow.
Maybe he could pitch. So I get him up on the mound, and his dad's sitting there. And I said, his name's Julian Garcia. I said, show me what you got. He literally crow hops off the mound, but
Wow.
almost throws the ball through the net. I had a real fancy. Anyway, we worked, and I think I've mentioned this before. Kids can be coachable, but are they adaptable?
Yeah, yeah.
That's a big difference. Julian was both.
Hmm.
And
By the way, let me interrupt for 1 second.
okay,
When Jan said he had a gun, he didn't mean he had something that you fired bullets out of.
no, that's true.
If you're not familiar with that term,
That's
he
true.
had a
Yeah,
great arm, a great arm.
a
Yeah.
great arm, a bazooka. Anyway, we worked and worked, and whoa, mama, he's getting it together. So his senior year, he goes back to the coach, and I'd like to pitch, and the guys. Anyway, he put him on the mound. He took him to the state finals, and they lost the championship game. But he got offered a scholarship from a number of schools, but he chose Metro State, Division II. Got drafted after his junior year in the 10th round by the
The
Phillies.
Dodge, the Phillies.
Right.
Really?
And then, so he signs, he's in the minor leagues, COVID hits, shuts everything down. Golly, what is going on? And
You got water? Drink some
yeah,
water.
I've been drinking it. I don't. Anyway, I lost track of him because I shut my business down. I was, so a few weeks ago, I see an article in the paper. Julian Garcia, 30 years old, is throwing for the Cincinnati Reds. Stop it. So I look him up. By golly, he is. He's relief, short relief. And I had taught him a slow hook. All he did was throw hard. So we got
Right.
developed this slow hook, which he really nailed. And so I thought, well, I got to start following this kid. Well, what are the odds Cincinnati came here to play the Rockies? And so I called his dad, who I hadn't talked to forever, who was very gracious. And of course, he was at the game. And Julian threw 3 innings, shutout ball against the Rockies, looked great. He doesn't have the heat he used to because he's 31 now. But he is now, they're using him in relief. And it's just cool to see a kid that was that tenacious. He went through minor league ball. He went to Puerto Rico and through. He was going to get there no matter what, and he did.
Is this his rookie year at 30?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Finally made it. So he,
Also, if you want to check out at times, you want to check out Cincinnati Reds. He didn't throw last night, he threw the night before. And they're using him like in the sixth, maybe seventh, eighth inning.
I'm writing it down. I'm going to check
Julian, Julian Garcia. He's a great kid.
Julian Garcia.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to speak with him, or is it?
No, his dad. I had a nice chat with his dad, and he was very complimentary and nice. And you started all this, Jan. And I said, "Hey, don't blame me for this." But he said, "I'll have him call you or text you or something." But they're on the road.
Yeah, yeah, but that must be so gratifying.
I've had three guys throwing the bigs.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty. I mean, they're not there because of me. I'm just a small part of it. But
But you
you
are
know, to have been a part of it,
right.
because I usually got them when they were young and trying to get their act together. And
Well, um, this may be a strange question to ask, but the next time I'm out in Colorado,
yeah, no,
because I have
okay,
I have an
okay,
arm. I have an
okay,
arm.
okay.
May not be a gun. Used to be a gun. I did pitch semi-pro. Did I tell you that? One inning.
With the pink Saskatchewan Roughriders or something.
Right. For it was the Pendel League, and my manager was either Granny Hamner or Stan Lapatta. I think both of them were on. And Stan Lapatta was a catcher for the Phillies, and
Oh
Granny
yeah.
Hamner was second baseman, and they had retired already. And so I went in and I pitched for an inning, and there was a walk, I think a single, a pop out, a fly out, and a strikeout. Nobody scored on me. And,
Whoa.
and then my boss gave me a raise, and that was it. And I never played again. That's serious.
That was you. You had your cup of coffee and you were done.
Yeah, in the semi-pro league.
Wow.
That was all I
Well,
did.
hey, better than not at all.
Yeah, down in a block from where I lived, they had a big playground, and
Oh yeah.
I'm there, and I was there. All right. Of course, I could have used your mentorship on my technique, because my technique, there's a special term I'm looking for. Sucked. That's it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's really bad.
Well, don't feel like the Lone Ranger. That's it's happening a lot today. This is kind of cool as well. I think I told you in the past. I told you about teaching kids the 42, the pitch. I taught it to them as their changeup.
Four and the two, yeah.
Two seams, four fingers,
Yeah.
maybe jam it a little. So I'm watching a video of Greg Maddox talking about his pitches, his
Right.
two seamer, and there are different two seamers, but he threw his same way I did.
Right.
And because you just love that feel of the seam. It can
Yeah.
burn the end of your finger, but it's
Right.
just But
Yeah.
a lot of guys will throw it this way over the top of the two seams like that. But anyway,
Now, wait a minute. Is there a specific place to hold your? Is it these two seams or
mhm.
higher up?
Whatever you
Yeah,
can move
because
up,
this is
move
more
down.
spread
That's
than
now
this.
you'll see some of these because the splitter is a very popular pitch now. So
Right.
you'll see guys that are on the outside of those two seams like
Oh.
that. But Maddox, on my two seamers, and then he goes, and then I had my changeup. It was the 42 grip. I thought I invented that, and he stole
Well,
it.
he probably did.
He did.
Has the what's the thing that the period passed that you could sue him? I think it's
Yeah, 7 years. Uh, I
yeah.
think he started throwing it before I started teaching.
Mm.
I thought it was original, but
I, like
and if you don't see the video, it is my pitch. So
It's amazing. Yes.
It
The
is.
what do
Yeah.
they call that? The I don't know the time passed, but um,
I couldn't have helped you. We were too close in age.
that's true. That's
Dan, come over here. Let's throw the ball. I don't think that would have worked.
I have one of the greatest gloves ever, but it needs to be restrung. But it is phenomenal, phenomenal. And I did see, I might have mentioned this. Uh, I was at the Sheraton Hotel in Society Hill in downtown Philly, and there's this guy talking to somebody else, and he's got a pair of glasses on and a jacket, and he just looked like some business guy talking. And I knew the Braves were staying at the hotel.
Oh,
And I looked and I went, that's Greg Maddox. And he was not tall.
no, 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 not at all.
He just looked like,
A librarian.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want to interrupt him.
Should have.
Fortunately, he said, Dan, what are you doing here? And I said, oh, I'm getting ready in a couple of years to talk to Jan Sumner. And he said, tell Jan I said hi. But
Fat fans.
he didn't recognize me or anything like that, but and I don't know why he would, but that was him. He just looked like, me, you.
Yeah. Oh,
You're
yeah.
taller, you're taller than me, but
He's
I don't think he's tall.
they didn't call him Mad Dog for nothing. Yeah, I saw him discussing the pitch clock.
Oh,
And he said it's not the pitch clock, it's the hitter's clock. And this guy goes, "What?" And he said, "Okay, so I'm on the mound, and there's a guy gets on first base who's a good base runner, maybe a guy who steals bases. So I come set, and we're both watching the clock. 13, 12, 11.
right,
He said, the guy's leading off, and he's tense. He's getting ready to go. I'm going to let him stand there till there's 1 second to go. Let
right.
him suck some energy out of himself, all tensed up. I mean, he always had every angle covered.
It,
Maddox.
it's interesting because there was a prediction, the two throw over rule. Okay. You can't throw three times. Uh,
Right, right.
first. Um, there was a prediction there'd be a lot more stolen bases. I don't see it.
I don't, I don't know how stolen bases this year relate to the past several years. From what I've observed, I don't think a lot of pitcher, and I've seen any number of wild throws to first trying to pick somebody off,
Yeah, yeah.
and then they're on third. I I don't see a lot of catchers that seem to be capable of throwing guys out.
It's interesting because there's a guy who catches for the Phillies. Uh, he sits on the bench most of the time. His name is Garrett Stubbs. Okay. Actually, his brother is also a catcher in the Astros organization. But Garrett Stubbs will pitch, will catch maybe once every 10 days, if that. Okay. But he has this arm that uh, he gets a lot of guys out relative to the amount of time he's in. He's just
Yeah.
got, and it's usually down and at the base. JT Realmuto is good at that, very, very good. But Stubbs' arm is so good that the reason, and this is interesting from a roster perspective, he he was optioned to the minors.
Hmm.
He had to go through waivers because he's out
Right.
of options. Okay, he went through waivers, and I always liked him. And he's a lefty, and at bat, they called him back up. Somebody got hurt or whatever. They called him back up, and then they had to trim the roster again because The guy who was sick came back up, but they didn't send him out. They sent somebody
Oh,
else out. So the Phillies wound up with three catchers, okay,
wow.
which is unusual.
Yeah.
Difference is this guy can play third base,
Oh,
shortstop,
there you go.
left field, and he's the guy that they always bring in when the game's out of hand and he pitches. Okay, so and when they talk to the manager, they say, "Well, Garrett was playing third." He said, "Stubby is very versatile. He can play just about anywhere.
Yeah,
It's hard to find a guy like that."
it
So
is.
it
Yeah.
saved him. He's really a role player at the bottom of the rolls.
Right. Right.
The major leagues for a while. He played for the Astros and he's been playing for the Phillies and plus he brings a lot of energy and the team needs that.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
catchers usually make pretty good third baseman or first baseman because
Yeah.
they're used to getting in front of the ball and they don't
Yeah.
have to have a ton of range at those two positions.
That's
So
true.
it's
And, and they have good arms.
yeah, typically I don't know. They usually throw very good BP.
Oh, right.
They throw from up here.
Right.
Um, I it's just uh, I would steal, take extra bases in today's game constantly because of some of the throws are just
Terrible.
up the backstop at home. And I
Terrible.
mean, I know I can't figure out if I can't figure out the cause of it. Is it just everybody is so focused on if you pitch, throw hard, if you hit them in the seats.
Yeah.
And there used to be five tools. You got to have how many five tool players? Willie Mays was five tools to the max.
Right. Right.
Clemente was five tools to the max. I mean,
Yeah.
today it seems like if you're a position player, if you've got speed, you got that tool.
Mm-hmm.
Or can you hit for power? And you got that tool.
Right.
The others don't seem to matter.
It's very interesting talking
Can you
about that.
catch, throw?
Yeah. Can you catch? Can you throw? Can you get on base? That doesn't seem to
No, no. I,
be a hit for average.
I was watching a highlight of the Yankees game was before they played the White Sox. And this is another part that we should get an analytical guy on here who's into sabermetrics. Um, they put the shift on, you know,
Really?
left, left-handed hitter comes up, they have the shift on, and then
As
they
far as a shift can be without breaking the rule.
exactly. So there's only one guy on the left side of the infield, the third baseman's in the middle, and
Yeah.
then they don't pitch to it. Anyway,
So
there was a pop up behind, it drifted out behind second base. The Yankees shortstop. He goes motoring over. Where's the second baseman and right fielder? Well, they're kind of there. He goes over. He's out of position. He drops the ball.
oh
Is he
God.
even over there? What? I mean, what is this? Just helter skelter? We just
It's crazy. I'll tell you. And I really am looking forward to seeing what the Phillies do,
oh
as
the
well as
trade.
everybody else during by Monday, at four
Right.
o'clock, the trade deadline. Um, Trey Turner, okay, great
He's
ball player,
struggled at short though.
horrible. I mean,
Yeah.
if you listen to the sports stations, we have two big sports stations in Philly, really big one. One has the Phillies games on it, and I think the other, and maybe the Flyers or whatever. The other has the Sixers and the Eagles. Well, it's one way or another, the programming. But anyway, they were talking about he's got 19 errors, 19 and or 20. I don't know what he did in the last game. That's unbelievable.
It
And it's
is
only, two-thirds
a
of the season.
critical position.
Yeah, the critical, really. And and he just and the other day he made like two or three of them in one game, as you were talking about.
Yeah.
So what do you do? Do you do you move him to the outfield? He was at one time played center field and trade for a shortstop, or they have players who can play shortstop. Okay. Bryson Stott was a shortstop. Edmundo Sosa, it can be a second baseman. So what do you do? Or do you trade him? Because his offense is good, but it's not last year he won the batting championship. This year he's hitting maybe 240. Maybe.
He's hitting leadoff, isn't
He's hitting leadoff, yeah.
he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Schwarber's
know.
sick. So
Well, you could. I mean, look at Mookie Betts. He played right field for the Dodgers. Now he's a Gold Glove shortstop. I
yeah,
mean, Turner could maybe move to how's. I don't know if he's got a strong enough arm for right field
center
or left.
or left. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Martian center.
But with any of these guys, it's what am I going to get back?
That's
If I can get back what I perceive as good and or potential pitching, I'm going to make the move.
yeah.
Because if you can't pitch, you can't win.
It's
It's that
true.
simple.
The and the Phillies, I'm harping on the Phillies because I watch them so much, but they lost 3-1 and 1-0
Mm,
against the was it against the Marlins?
right.
So Wheeler pitched great. Actually, Nola pitched great, and they just couldn't get runs for him. And then they lost, 7-8-7 and 8-6 or something. And it's like, what is going? They're falling back to where they were at the beginning of the season. And I'm sure that I'm not saying anything about the Phillies that someone else wouldn't say about the Red Sox, who are now so hot. You know,
Yeah.
won so many games in the last
Right.
month. But that's part of the season. It's like it ebbs and flows, and it's
Oh, sure, sure. Yeah.
very difficult to keep a trajectory. The Dodgers can do it. Okay.
They can, and a lot of that to me always comes back to pitching. If I'm going to throw an ace out there tonight, and then I get to do it again tomorrow night, and maybe for 3 games I've got studs going to the mound. The odds are we probably are going to win. I can't remember who, these announcers. What's kind of funny is some of these teams. The color guy in the booth is an ex major league ball player,
sure.
and they're not spring chickens anymore. So they're looking at the game, and one of them was saying, and I don't remember who the two teams were, and he said he was distraught. He said we used in the last 2 games we used 14 pitchers in 2 games. What is wrong with that picture? You can't win like that. You can't
Yeah,
sustain that. You can't sustain that.
and now, and maybe it's me. I don't know how you feel about this, but I tend to think that bullpens are weak.
Yeah.
They're-
Well, they've been conditioned. I don't blame the guys so much. I mean, they're doing the best they can do because nobody wants to go out on the mound and fail.
right.
But if all you're being taught to do and work on is throw hard, that ain't going to make it. And then last night, who was it? The Red Sox were playing the Athletics. I believe it was them, and The reliever that came in for the Athletics walked in the tying and winning run. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you know he that was killing him, but he, for whatever reason, he could not throw strikes. And
And you can't take him out because of the three-player rule.
yeah, and it was, I think they were in extra innings. It was the top of the 10th. And, you've already used your bullpen. And, you get into August, September, your bullpen is sucked dry.
Yeah.
These guys have thrown and thrown and thrown and thrown. And um,
There,
I don't know.
there are guys that come into the games, and I've said this before, where I'm watching the game, I have to walk out of the room,
Yeah.
turn off the TV. It's just like I can't watch him. I said that to my wife. I can't watch him. And
Yeah.
she,
It's going to go bad.
yeah, it's going to go bad. And
And the sad part is he probably knows it's going to go bad. The guy
yeah,
coming in, but you called me. I got to get up and do this. And maybe I'm hurting. Maybe I'm tired. Maybe I'm have no confidence. It's funny, Sasaki, who throws for the Dodgers,
right,
young guy. And he did real well last year as a reliever in the playoffs in the World Series. He's got he can touch 100. He's got a great splitter. So this year they move him to starter because they lose two starters to injury.
sure,
Well, he's getting smacked around as the season begins,
right,
and through June, into June. And apparently they took him aside, as the Dodgers will tend to do, and they said, "Listen, mechanically, it's strange. All Japanese pitchers have really good mechanics. Why would we not emulate that? Never mind." So the problem is that you're not being aggressive enough as a pitcher.
mm,
He's throwing lights out now because he got aggressive.
wow,
He was trying, when I worked with pitchers, it was funny. I would say to them, "What's the most important pitch for you?" They, fastball, curve, whatever. And I'd say, "No, the first one.
right,
You got to get ahead."
right,
Well, how do you do that? Are you going to throw a ball for a strike? Or are you going to make them fish and then you're down 2-1, 3-0? No, you have to get aggressive and come into this, make them prove they can hit whatever it is you're throwing. And
right,
that's what he's done. Last night he was throwing his splitter not out of the zone to make them fish for it. He was throwing it in the zone. And Caros, who was doing the color, said, "You can't hit this pitch in the strike zone because it just goes,
yeah.
read it as a fastball, whoops." And he was lights out.
Well, it's interesting. You're bringing up an interesting point, and I've always wondered this. When you're throwing a curve or a splitter or whatever, it breaks right around the plate. Okay, always. That's what makes it effective.
Sure. Well, it should break around the plate. Yeah.
Yeah, it should break around the plate. And that's what pitchers are taught. But how in the world, from a physics standpoint, can a pitcher anybody know that pitch, when it leaves the pitcher's arm, it's not 66.5 feet, it's maybe,
No, sure. Depending on the size of the guy. Yeah.
yeah, let's say it's 60 feet 6 inches. Well, it is 60 feet 6 inches. So let's say it's 57 feet. Okay.
Yeah.
How does it know that right before the player is getting ready to swing, it drops? I mean, what is it
Well,
from
it's a hidden visual thing. No. Well, it's two things, I think. It's one is muscle memory for the pitcher. And you know the other is, which is part of the muscle memory scenario, is the release point.
Okay.
If I've got a right-handed hitter up, and guys don't do this much anymore, and I'm gonna throw a hip side slider, throw it at his hip and get it to break in, I'm gonna have to let it go here, as opposed to I wanna make him fish on the outside corner, I have to let it go there.
Okay.
Just a shade different. But my muscle memory is built into the fact when I let go of the ball, I'm always this far from home plate, and this is where I have to release the ball. It's just
Yeah,
kind of built in.
it is. But
Fastball, no,
uh, no, fastball just goes.
just just buzz it. Yeah.
But
I mean, you got to throw strikes with it, so there
sure.
is that involved. But um, I don't know. I mean, if you're throwing a cutter or you're throwing a sinker, it's kind of the same principle, you know.
Yeah, but
My
what about the amount of footage before the break? It's always breaking right around the plate.
Yeah, because and that's the release point. If I let it go up here,
I get it. I
I'm
get it.
gonna well, you see tons of, unfortunately, now hangings, sweepers, curveballs, sliders. And I love the announcers. He clocked that. That's 400. He should have. It was belt high down the middle.
Right.
Somebody should clock that.
Yeah.
I have to hold on. If I want it there, I've got to hold on to it a tenth of a second longer. But
Uh,
I know that with the muscle memory.
right.
You feel it. When was teaching pitchers, a fastball is not a field pitch. That's,
Right.
I get these two seams and I'm coming through and I'm busting it in there. When I'm throwing a hook or something else, I've got to feel it come out of my hand. I have to feel it come out. I don't feel it. I mean, I may feel it if it burns my finger because of the
Yeah.
seams on a fastball, but I've got to feel that release off of my finger.
Well, you just brought up another great point. If you're pitching on the seams, it's a two-seamer, okay,
Right.
and it burns your fingers, okay. You see a lot of pitchers like they toss the ball out because it's maybe too high on the seams or too low or whatever. Um, After a while, doesn't that, well, it got to cause blisters, but it also
Yeah.
rubs
Does.
away your skin.
No,
Doesn't
it generally speaking,
analysis?
a guy who throws a two seamer like this, like I did, like Maddox did, um, generally speaking, when you let go of the ball, the last thing to touch it is your middle finger.
Oh, okay.
And that's what gets burned. You get a burn here on the end of your middle finger.
But
And then that becomes a major problem. I had it in high school. Because I threw real hard in high school, and it was getting so I couldn't stand it, and I would have people who didn't know anything about pitching. Well, just move off the seam. Then it's like throwing an ice cube. Then I had a guy I really respected. He played in the Yankee system and taught me a lot about pitching, although he'd never pitched. You'll get hear about pickle rind, soak the finger in pickle rind,
oh,
or tincture of benzoin. So I got tincture of benzoin, and I would soak. It was orange, and I would soak my finger in this tincture of benzoin. Well,
huh.
what it did was it took that and calloused it up till it was rock hard,
Wow.
not smart. Then it would crack.
Oh, then it would bleed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
So, and then I was out of baseball forever, so who cared? Then I came back, and since I was a little older and somewhat wiser, and I thought, no, what I need to do is keep the end of my finger soft and supple.
Right.
hard as a rock. So I just got Neutrogena, skin lotion.
Right.
Lu-
Right.
And before I would warm up in the bullpen, I'd rub it in between every inning. I'd rub it in. I never had a problem again.
Wow.
There was a pitcher we had with the Rockies, who I won't name, but he had a gun. He could bring it, and he got the blister problem when I was around him. And I took him aside and I said, "Listen," I explained what I just explained to you. Rub it in, before you warm up in the bullpen, between innings. Okay. A week or so goes by. He's got the blister problem again. And we were out in the outfield, and I went up to him and I said, Did you get the lotion? And he says, "Yeah, I bought some lotion. I put it all over my hands. It didn't help. See ya." Just the finger with a really good. When I see guys have this problem with, I just want to reach out and say, this will get rid of it, but I can't.
Well, let me ask you another one about pitching.
Okay.
Kind of pitch off the seams. How many pitches are off the seams completely?
Spitter,
Splitter?
spit,
Spitter.
spitter.
Oh, spitter. That's about it.
You spit on this nice smooth part of the ball here.
Right.
Then you hold it like that, so there's no seams.
Right.
Slides out of your finger, and it does weird things.
Well, how about
But
another?
four seamer, okay, that's a four seamer, but your fingers are riding on that seam right there.
Right.
It's a four seam. And then there's this two seamer, there's this two seamer. Some guys will throw a two like this. And to me, the most important finger involved in pitching was my middle finger,
Yeah.
not my index finger.
What about a knuckleball?
Well, that's thrown with your fingers, not a knuckle.
Really? It's that?
Yeah. And then when you throw, you push it out like that. There's
Oh.
no knuckles involved.
So the only one where you're not touching the seams at all is
Well, I don't know why a guy would throw a pitch that he feels no seams. That seems weird to me, but I suppose there may be some guys that do that. But it would seem to me you'd lose control of the ball before you got to your release point.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you've got to have something to
Makes
feel,
sense. Yeah.
and that's why guys love the four, because they're on these two seams and their thumbs on that seam.
Yeah.
So they really feel like, hey, I got a grip on this thing. This one, the two seamer, your thumb tends to be underneath. However, if I rock it forward, now my thumb is on the seam. So then I do feel that.
Huh.
But yeah, a lot. And, some announcer a couple nights ago said, because whoever was pitching was throwing a lot of splitters, which is hard on your arm, elbow.
Right.
But he said, hey, he's got that splitter, fork ball, whatever going. That's not the same pitch. That's a splitter.
Right.
That's a fork ball.
Oh.
Tuck your thumb under.
Yeah.
It does kind of the same thing, but you have better control of a splitter because your thumb is under here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Back in the day, back in the 50s, 60s, nobody threw a splitter. The first guy who really brought the splitter to light was Morris, threw for the Tigers.
Jack Morris.
Yeah. He started throwing this splitter, and everybody's going, whoa, 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 what? And, became a great pitch for Clemens. Yeah. Now it's guys throw it all the time. But that's the fork ball is you tuck your thumb under. Well, that's why they call it a fork ball, because that's like a fork, whatever.
Yeah. It's like everybody now throws a sweeper.
Whatever.
What is that?
Slurve. I would tell my kids, okay, you've got the curve, the slurve, the slider.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Sliders should break hard, fast, quick, and don't cover a lot of ground. Slurves, aka sweeper, it appears to me that the sweeper tends to be more horizontal the way it breaks.
Hmm.
And okay, okay. So if I throw a sweeper, and some of these guys now who drop down and they're almost below side or sidearm, and they'll throw a lot of sweepers, breakers like this. But if I throw a horizontal breaking pitch and it breaks horizontally more flat, I can still get a bat on it.
You can still what?
Get a bat on it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If I'm throwing the curve, hook, Uncle Charlie, or if it's really good, like Koufax, Uncle Charles, that thing comes up. I don't know about getting a bat on that one.
No.
That's why the splitter's so good because it comes in and goes down. And I think guys today have a harder time. It used to be when you threw a breaking pitch, like a slider, curve, it would create a red dot.
Oh,
So the ball's coming at you and there's a red dot in the middle. Well, good hitters, the Tony Gwynns of the world, would see the red dot. They could pick up the red dot. It's a breaking pitch. So
wow.
pitchers were told, okay, you got to change your grip to get rid of the red dot.
Huh.
Not anymore.
No, they don't care.
Well, and they'll you can when I if you throw a four seam fastball, it will appear as a white blur. You don't see any seams
Yeah.
at all. Two seamers, you'll see seams. They may be rotating like this. My fastball went down into a right hander or down and away from a lefty. I counted on it.
Wow. Just
And
automatically?
yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay.
And I loved it. If I could nip the outside with a lefty, he'd have to prove to me he could hit it to left field.
Hmm.
If he couldn't hit it out there, he's going to get it all day long.
Right. Right.
But
Exactly.
the splitter has this funky, slower rotation. But guys aren't picking it up, I guess. I don't know.
Uh,
I don't
I
know.
don't get it. And I, and I think you said it earlier at the very beginning of the show and other times is that it's all about can you hit the ball out of the ballpark?
Yeah, yeah, swinging up. Yeah.
And that's it. And and the other thing that irks the heck out of me is guys that are fishing. They go fishing out of the zone and they look terrible. And I know I'm going like, what the hell are you swinging at? But yet I'm not up there, so I don't know. It might look okay, but why don't you wait on it? Wait.
Well, and we were talking about baseball IQ. So I'm on deck, and there's a guy on, and then the pitcher walks two guys in a row to load the bases. I come up and swing at the first pitch.
Oh, stupid as hell.
What part of this am I not understanding? And I guess as a manager, you can't say you're going to take a pitch here, Bill. Maybe two. I I don't know. It's baffling to me that the concept of team kind of goes away when I'm in the box to hit. I'm going to put one in the seats. No, the bases are loaded. Just get a knock. We'll get two runs.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
don't.
I
I
don't get it.
don't. I don't know. A lot of it is just packed up and left, and I don't.
Yeah, it's a
I don't
different.
know that it'll ever change back, but it's. I don't know. I don't
Let's
know.
hope. Chan, I got to tell you, this has been an extremely informative hour.
Well, hey,
Anyone who's at all into baseball, especially if they're a player and a pitcher, if they're not watching this, we got to spread. They're making a mistake. They're gonna that they can just use this right away. So
well, yeah,
really,
some
really,
some of it they could, sure.
yeah,
It's
I, I, I definitely think so. The grips and everything else, and you've said in other ones, it's all about your legs as well. And so
oh, that's where the power is. Yeah,
yeah, you got to have the
Mizorowski
yeah,
has the longest stride in the major leagues for a pitcher, and the kid's what 6'6". I don't know. Well, when he lets go, sure, it's 103 miles an hour. When he lets go of the ball, he's 50 feet from home plate,
exactly.
or his arm is. So that's 103 looks like 120.
Yeah. So
Uh,
folks, pitchers, yeah, watch this, listen to Jan,
uh,
change what you're doing, or keep it that way if you're doing what he's saying, and you'll become more successful. Jan, this is great as always.
absolutely, Dan. As
Folks,
always, a blast.
great.
I hope any other people are enjoying this a tenth as much as we are.
I hope so too. I hope so too. It's true. True. Well, look, we'll see you next time, folks. Jan and Jan go yard. Jan, thanks, man. We'll see
Dan,
you soon.
thank you. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Take care. Bye bye.
Okay, bye.